I was looking for that. Yellow. Check, baby. Check, baby. 1, 2. Ready on the mics. The excluded middle. Ryan and Ryan coming at you from the back shack. Thank you.
How long have we had that?
Too long, man, not to be using that.
Just finally figured that out today.
Yeah, for sure. That's so awesome.
See, what happens when you get glasses? You turn into a nerd.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. That's how I was gonna start too. Like, look at Ryan. He not only was he just, he was smart, but now he just got smarter overnight.
I feel like there is an expectation when you have glasses that you are supposed to have all the answers.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little intimidated right now, man.
I worked the same job when I got these glasses, and now the dynamic has changed.
Yeah,
The expectation's different.
Yeah, you need to know the answers, man. For sure, you do.
I know where to find them.
I like that.
Google
Yeah,
tells me exactly which verse to go to, too.
yeah, for sure it does,
Also,
man.
how's your week been?
Man, it's been good.
Does it feel like we've been a minute since we've been back?
Has
here?
it been? It's been over a week, I think, hasn't it?
It feels like an eternity to me.
I don't know, man. It's been a while, man. I think so. I think it's been longer than a week, man. I can't. This thing is loose, man. What's really going on here?
I don't know.
Well, anyways, I'll deal with it. I'll fix it later.
Let me get my pliers.
Nah, we're good, man. Let's keep rolling.
I banged it around too much.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been a while, man. The week has been absolutely good and bad. It's been a roller coaster ride, man.
Yeah.
Seem to be going more up than down, though. And all I can say is I'm getting better, man.
How was your Easter?
Easter was good, man. Easter was good.
Great Easter.
Yeah.
And when Monday came around, the spiritual warfare has been crazy.
Intense, man.
Has me asking myself a lot of questions.
Yeah, as it usually does,
Mostly,
man.
why? Why now?
Yeah,
How
why?
do you go from such a great day? Church was awesome. Had some amazing family time. All the kids, all the grandkids that are around all the time that live in Hutch were there. Big dinner. Grandma
Yeah.
Shirley. Awesome time.
Yeah.
Great night. Woke up Monday morning.
Just down, man,
Yeah.
right? Man, that's no good. That's no good.
It has carried pretty much all the way up till this moment.
Yeah. I had a guy ask me the other day, he's like, man, how's it going? I was like, man, it's going well. It's going well. Live the struggle. That's what I said. Live the struggle, man. But I was like, in this moment, at this time, I'm getting everything that's meant for me at this moment, man. It's either purifying me, getting me better, and, just trying to rise above, man. Keeping the heart up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Not just keep the head up, but keep that heart up. Looking for gratitude, man. Looking into the best of things.
I asked myself a lot over the years, what's the point?
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's a reference to a big book on page like 86. It says, what's the point? And then immediately it's, the point is, to grow along spiritual lines and blah, blah, blah. I can't even remember it right now. Beyond that, then I think, biblically speaking, what's the point?
Yep.
Well, to walk in the footsteps of Jesus and go and make disciples. So even on my worst day, I still have that.
Yeah.
Even when I don't want to, it's weird. I laid out Tuesday from work, had a pretty crummy phone call. Wednesday followed up that phone call and was able to minister to somebody, even though I didn't want to. I really did not want to take that phone call because I knew it was going to be tough.
Yeah.
A guy that came through treatment last year, one of my favorite people that have been through, we hadn't stayed in touch. But I found out Tuesday that back in February, he just chose to end his life. And his dad was trying to get a hold of me. It took him 2 months to work up the courage to call me.
Wow.
So I knew the phone call was coming, and he called me Wednesday and got on the phone with him for about an hour. And the most beautiful part of it, there's grief, and I have grief, not comparable to what his dad's going through, was at the end of the conversation, I asked him, I said, can I use your son's story to try to help other people? And he said, if it helps one person.
Yeah, use it.
I'm crying right now about it, but you want to talk about full on weeping.
Right.
But that was the end of my grief.
Man, that's a deep moment right there. Yeah.
And I just felt for him. So The closest I can relate is close personal friend I'd call my adopted brother, and that 10 years ago committed suicide. No one really. I mean, the person you want to ask is simply ain't here no more. Right. So that's when you have those why, what, what's the point? Yep. But it kind of leads us into what we've been talking about for the last few days too, doesn't it?
It does,
and it kind of follows up what we talked about. What was it, about 10 days ago? When you're facing adversity and running at the roar.
Oh yeah, running at the roar, man.
So this is kind of a continuation.
Yeah, to a point. Yeah,
in a sense of that.
Yeah,
but really, it just amounts to what if.
Yeah, what if, man? What if?
Yeah. Do you get the what if sometimes?
Yeah, I get them a lot, man. I get them a lot. What if? Almost live in a what if state at times, man.
I don't know if that's healthy. I've been reading up on it the last couple of days. This would suggest that it's not. I think questioning ourselves, it talks about, our self-evaluation. And
I'd like to say something on that. I don't know if it's like a what if in an unhealthy state. I would say it's more of a what if in a seeking type way. So I would say that's more of a healthy type state. You know what I mean? Because I'm searching, I'm seeking, I'm looking. Yeah. At the same time, I feel, I don't know how you would say that. Maybe complete to a point. Right. You know what I mean?
At a point,
I'm okay. Life. I'm okay where I'm at, where everything is. You know what I mean? It's.
Well, faith's involved in that.
Yeah.
So let's rewind into a time. Did you used to play the what if game? I did. Of what if I would have done this differently in my past? What if I never would have picked up methamphetamines? Yeah, what if I would have quit in my 20s the first time I went to treatment?
Yeah, I think about that at times. I try to stay away from that area because I know if I hadn't done certain things, and at time throughout that past, I wouldn't be where I'm at today doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I am at times. I can't lie. You know what I mean? Like, what if I'd have done this differently? And those big moments, where those choices were of the utmost importance.
I get those chose differently. The most when something sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or adversity hits. I think it's important for us to remember where we came from so we don't go back there again. Yeah. But the more time that separates that, the what if gets smaller.
Yeah. Because I'll be out running sometimes. Like I was doing it last night or not last night, maybe the night before on a run. And I was like, man, what if I would have started running way earlier on? Really started honing in on that heartbeat, that function and where I'd be at today.
And you mean in life, period?
No,
You're not just talking about for the day.
Oh, I was just talking about on running. Yeah, in life, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying.
2 years ago,
right?
Wish you would have started 10.
Yeah,
right.
And where I would be at now.
What if I never would have quit going to the gym?
Yeah. See. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. But at the same time, doing that right there motivates me, or just keeps that discipline in line, where I just keep showing up because I can think back and be like, man, I should have been doing this all this time, and. Now that I am doing it, I'm not, I ain't going back.
So do you want to take a little bit and focus on some negative what ifs?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I like it.
I'm going to read this poem, and it's from Shel Silverstein. I'm guessing it's geared for little kids because he wrote some amazing kids books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't think what they're called. Something in the attic or there's something downstairs. So it's what if. Last night while I lay thinking here, some what ifs crawled inside my ear and pranced and partied all night long and sang their same old what if song. What if I'm dumb in school? What if they've closed the swimming pool? What if I get beat up? What if there's poison in my cup? What if I start to cry? What if I get sick and die? What if I flunk that test? What if green hair grows on my chest? What if nobody likes me? What if a bolt of lightning strikes me? What if I don't grow tall? What if my head starts getting small?
That sounds like Light in the Attic. That's it. Okay. Yeah, okay. I was like, man, I've heard this before. Yeah, Light in the Attic.
What if the fish won't bite? What if the wind tears up my kite? What if they start a war? What if my parents get divorced? What if the bus is late? What if my teeth don't grow in straight? What if I tear my pants? What if I never learn to dance? Everything seems well, and then the nighttime what ifs strike again.
Ooh. Yeah, see, I would say those are a bit of an unhealthy what ifs, but at the same time, those what ifs would create about, like I was saying, like some motivation and discipline to keep that from happening. Yeah. You know what I mean? So in turn, an unhealthy could turn into a healthy.
So, I mean, last night while I lay thinking here, and then it ends, everything seems well, and then the nighttime what ifs strike again. So much truth to this poem.
Yeah.
It says this poem explores the anxiety and fear of the unknown through a multitude of what-if scenarios. The repetitive structure and simple language effectively convey the intrusive and overwhelming nature of these worries. The poem's timelessness is evident in its universal appeal as it resonates with individuals of all ages who have experienced similar anxieties. In comparison to the author's other works, this poem exhibits a more playful and lighthearted tone while maintaining a relatable and insightful perspective on human nature. Accurate, right?
Yeah, nailed it, man.
The what ifs don't go away with age.
No, they don't. They
You
don't.
have to get to a point, and I mean, this is where, for me, for my personal journey, this mustard seed of faith.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes my faith is huge, but at minimal level, I mean, I have to maintain a mustard seed, and it changes the perception
The dynamics of it,
of my
man.
what if.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just blind faith.
Yeah.
It's locked into something that's solid, that's proven time and time again throughout my life, and time again through other people's lives that I get to share experiences with. And watching their what if moments just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now there's people that put up good walls you never would expect it from,
Yeah.
but I would hedge a bet they have what if moments themselves.
Oh, for sure, man. But I think as you get older or get more wiser, more experienced, you know what I mean? You just get more, or get your faith becomes stronger, as you could say. I think you rise above those and then you begin to conquer.
Yeah. That's
You know
the
what
point,
I mean?
though, right?
Like, and that's what, when they creep in on me, that's what motivates me. I'll get those like, what if, what if I'm not going to make it? What if I'm going to fail? What if, what if I get hurt? What if all this starts happening? But then I'm like, you know what? I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm starting. I'm getting up on that starting line, and I'm going.
If
You know what I mean? And if I
took that-
fail or something happens, I'm just going to be better for it anyways.
If I took that to my adoptive dad, I'm almost fairly confident his response would be, "So what?"
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what?
So what? I like that.
He definitely is a great example of walking in faith. I just got to say,
Yeah. So what?
so what?
So what?
And I get
That's
that
almost like, good.
yeah.
So what?
100% it is, and he's never seen the video.
Yeah. So what?
I would probably follow that with, you don't know what it's like to walk in my shoes.
Yeah.
But he does.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
he does.
Oh yeah.
I think the what ifs in today's culture are very evident because the competition's different. I grew up competitive. I played competitive sports. My kids play competitive sports. I hate losing. I play cards at work with the guys. I was on a 17-0 run of winning,
Yes.
and then I lost 2 in a row, and now I can't win.
Yeah.
And it bugged me. I mean,
Yeah.
it made me feel a type of way. And of course, where I work at, there's no lack of poking on people. And so they know it bothers me, and they let me know that I know it bothers me.
Yeah. Everybody likes stacking dubs,
Yeah,
Ryan.
they
I know
do.
I do, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
But we are so geared to this individualistic, rely on ourselves. There's a lack of this family atmosphere. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I would say, but see, if you're at a constant state of relying on only yourself, I would say that would begin to lead you into more of a selfishness type way, and then things become only about you.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, so I'd be cautious with that.
No matter what way you look at it,
Yeah,
on that road, one's very lonely, but it doesn't end well.
yeah,
You could think you're on top of the world, but that's kind of getting down the rabbit hole.
yeah.
I
No, I
guess.
was getting off subject for sure.
What if?
What if?
What if I am dumb in school?
Not with those glasses on, sir. Not with
I
those
upped-
glasses.
I upped my IQ 4 points by putting these glasses on.
Oh man, I thought we had like some laughter.
Nah, there's no
I was
laughter.
gonna hit it right there. We
Yeah.
should change one of those.
I don't know if it's a good thing I figured that out or a bad thing.
Oh,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Oh, that's hilarious.
So this is what led me. This is from 1517. It's a website, and people are going to worry. You know what I mean? There are regular, everyday sorts of worries we have, sometimes all before 9 a.m. Often in the mix are some really big concerns. What if I end up alone? What if we're entering World War III? What if my marriage doesn't make it? I think for me, if I'm at the points of those, I need to rewind the tape.
Yeah.
Because if I'm already to the point of what if my marriage doesn't make it, something screwed up a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, personally.
Yeah.
It says chances are we'd like to think what ifs come up because we're just really responsible and caring people. That may be at least a part of the reason we're prone to worry, but at its root, our what ifs actually come from something much deeper within. Jesus tells us the root of anxiety stems from little faith.
Yeah. But wouldn't you think, like, yeah, that's in going on that, wouldn't you think that everything like is happening probably for your best interest or for the better of you? You know what I mean? The betterment of you. Like, I know you don't necessarily see it because our understanding and our view side is so minimal and so small. But I think on the bigger spectrum of things, we're probably getting what we need. Not necessarily what we want, but I would think what we need.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So at that point, you know, you can kind of step away from that worryingness and that what if stage and be like,
right.
Well, and then you could change your what ifs to like, you know, what if this is happening for the betterment of me,
right?
For the greater good of things.
Well, I mean,
you know
some
what
of that
what
comes
is
into
this?
the 4 T's,
Yeah,
the test and that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
What if the what if lie comes straight from Satan? I think it does.
Yeah,
A
you
lot
know,
of it.
because then I guess, you know, because I would say our, you know, to a point, our realities, our kind of our perspectives, anyways, are based around our thoughts.
Yeah.
And then we then begin to create that through our words.
Absolutely.
So if you're having these what ifs in that negative manner, pretty soon that's going to begin to, you know, you don't like the word, but manifest itself in your everyday life.
What if isn't very far away from did God really say?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it really isn't.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, there's so many what ifs. What ifs could lead you down straight conspiracy holes from all over around the place.
Yeah, I try my best to stay away from the what ifs.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's enough out there just for me Googling it, what if, of stuff
man.
that popped up, and I got more stuff inside. But
You know-
go ahead.
Back in the day, like just thinking about what ifs, man, one of my favorite comic reads back when I was a kid was the What If comics. You know what I mean? Like one I can particularly remember is when what if Wolverine and the Hulk was to fight, you know what I mean, in battle. And I think in that comic, Wolverine won. Hulk even picked up a mountain and threw it on Wolverine. But anyways, what if comics, you know, they even did it.
Oh yeah, what if it's based on the Marvel universe? What could have unfolded if things were differently?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite reads as a kid,
to
man.
a ton of comic books.
Yeah.
But so this guy who's really smart, prominent psychologist this is what he says. The average high school kid today has the same level as anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in the early 1950s.
Holy smokes, man.
This anxiety doesn't come out of nowhere. Rather, it's part of the air we breathe. We live in what some have referred to as a performancist culture. That is to say, we have imbibed the idea that our worth in life is based on how we perform.
Right. And then you could begin to say, like, you know, like your thoughts, like where do thoughts come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What if they weren't your thoughts? You know what I
So-
mean? And they were and you were breathing those in from the air around you. What if?
The intrusiveness of that is undue stress placed on children by parents and society.
Yeah.
For me, it was my mom saying, "I'll never be as good as,"
Yeah.
and she would always fill in the blank. Trust me, I'll never
Yeah.
be as good. And I went to a small Christian school. Everybody knew you knew what everybody's grades were there.
So that's great.
You know what I mean? And it took me to my middle 20s to understand that. And after years of counseling and this and that, I was in a drug treatment facility talking with my counselor about it. And then years later, when she died, it reared its ugly head again, you know? And by the grace of God, is the only reason I've been set free of that. Through that emotional healing prayer, the trading pain for peace.
Yeah.
And
Man, it still just strikes me as wild that you said so the basic teenager has the same amount of anxiety as a psychiatric patient in the 1950s.
says, this is Dr. Robert Leahy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Leahy, so Leahy. Never heard his name, and I read a lot, but yeah, the average high school kid today has the same level as anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in the early 1950s.
So then basically at that So everyone should be committed at that point. You know what I mean? If we have the same type, if we have the same
I think
levels
you'd
as
have
a
to-
psychiatric level, so therefore they're
your
all
focus would have to be totally on anxiety, though,
yeah.
not other modalities. So the psychiatric patient in the 1950s would be mostly severe depression, suicidal, homicidal, probably psychotic or sociopath and schizophrenic.
Yeah.
You think back 70 years ago, the mental health, whatever it's called, had like probably 20. I don't know what the word would be. Diagnoses. Okay, now there's over 300.
Oh yeah, I would say thousands.
Dr. Saz a few years ago said 300.
300. Yeah.
And so, which, of course, me and you have watched the Saz video on mental health, and it really opened my eyes to where we're at today. And it still plays into this what if culture.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's out there.
So then you could say, what if then? So you'd have to see what has conspired since the 50s till now to begin to create things. And I would say, the chemicals,
That's one.
that's huge. You could get into, we could get into all kinds of conspiracy, pharmaceuticals. I was also thinking like chemtrails. I was thinking like the metals that are
Pills
being
that are
tossed
prescribed,
around.
dude.
Right. That's what I mean. And then not to mention just like your chemicals that you're seeing in the food industry itself.
Oh, yeah.
The poisons, the toxins that you're doing.
Things that cause cancer.
Yeah. Basically,
Heavy metals.
I would say anything.
What about social media?
Yeah, dude. And you just have to filter. You're constantly being filtered through things. So you're always under a constant attack. So that's going to automatically heighten your anxieties,
Right.
not to mention, your diet. I thought I read something the other day that even they're looking at like the effects of sun. How people are getting skin cancer and things of this sort. That's technically not even from the sun. The sun, you're just being affected more by it from the diet that you're eating. Like they're looking at people that are healthy and eating, and when they get sun, it's good for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if your diet's not well, then you're going to have a bad, you have a more prone chance of getting skin cancer just from your diet alone.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? And then you could take that into those, like you said, you know what I mean? Your anxieties, your depressions, like your colors, your food, like the red dye, the red 40s.
It's very
your
interesting when you
yellow
start paying
fives.
attention to those kind of
Yeah,
things.
man. They're all creating those sparks and bringing about more,
Yeah.
just more pressures.
So,
So what if they're, man, holy smokes.
this is a reference to a New York Times article. It says, "We worry only about exactly those things we can never do anything about. And then that very fact becomes something else we worry about. The cycle goes on and on until we let the mind give over to something larger, wiser than itself." It almost sounds like something from recovery, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does,
With that
man.
step, like turn our will and our life over to the
That's
care
what
of
I was
God.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
And what if all this is happening? What if all this is happening
Yeah.
to get people to turn away from all this garbage and put their focus more on, on God?
Well, they have two roads, right?
That's what I mean. So all this is happening, and what if all this is in place for you? The bigger picture is to get you to turn your will and your power and your understanding of things over to a greater power than yourself.
I would say 100% it is.
Right.
We have the free will. I
So-
think you and I both know the road easy traveled, full of feeling good fast,
Yeah.
immediate what is it?
Gratification.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Immediate gratification,
Yeah.
man. I would think the flesh loves that, dude.
Absolutely, it does.
Flesh. Then you get into like your other things, like even in the workout world, like it takes years of discipline of doing it, getting it,
Yeah.
and then to work out to build a physique to feel good. You know what I mean? To get that moving.
Right.
And now what do they implement? Here's some steroids for you.
Oh,
You know what
they
I
wanna
mean?
Get there fast,
Yeah,
right?
boom, there you go.
So, what is the something larger, wiser than himself? Jesus spells it out. And he said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens, they neither sow nor reap, they have neither storehouse nor barn, and yet God feeds them."
There's something in Man, never mind. I was trying to think of a book in the Bible. These last, or how do you pronounce that? ECC. What is that?
Ecclesiastes?
Yeah.
That's a good book.
Chapter 3. Man, I can't remember it now, man. Dang it. I'm going to say it's chapter 3, verse something, man.
So these are words of Christ, obviously. This is red letters, this verse was. So what is Jesus saying here? He's saying to you, when the what if question plagues you, remember who your God is. He is not simply the sovereign Lord of heaven and earth, but he is the one who cares so intimately about his creation that he feeds the birds of the air. He clothes the grass of the field. He is not merely your God, but he chooses to be called your father, your provider, and your protector. Now, I like this quote up here too. I'm going to read it real quick. We confess with the scriptures that the Lord directs our step, but because our faith is small, we're not so sure that he knows how to direct our steps very well.
Here, I found it, man. Chapter 8, verse 15. And I commend joy, for man has nothing better under the sun but to eat and drink and be joyful. For this will go with him in the toil through the days of his life that God has given him under the sun.
I like it.
Yeah.
Why worry?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it does. It goes right to Jocko and the good thing too.
Yeah, because if you begin to worry, you begin to not, enjoy life. Like that verse was saying, we are here to enjoy, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
To have fun, to eat, to drink, you know what I mean? To live life, not to live in anxiety and stress.
The more I press in,
we are to be free.
Absolutely. Not American freedom.
No, I'm talking totally different, man.
Yeah.
More of a
spiritual freedom,
a Galatians 5:1 type
being
of freedom.
a slave to nothing.
Yeah,
be a slave to Christ, which his yoke is easy, his burden is light. I can tell in myself when I'm getting outside of where I need to be spiritually. I've had the benefit of it being the Lenten season where there's constant reminders and we're doing the adoration prayer. And it's almost like Easter ended and then like all that stopped. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not reading, because I get a couple emails that I read every morning. I watch a couple of certain videos that I've watched repeatedly. I've watched them over and over and over again. But they still just speak to me in different ways. There's a lot of scripture involved. But at the same time, it's like I can go right from that and it's almost like I just forget it.
Mm-hmm.
I punch into work and the first crisis happens or the first person ticks me off.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now that's my whole day.
Yeah.
No recovering from that one.
It's like, it's crazy how that happens too, man. Like, yeah, it's wild how that happens.
And then it's just constant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is this constant.
It's like those attacks just come at you. Like, man, everything will be going just good. I'll wake up in the morning, like I said, do my thing and, start with my prayer, get some gratitude thoughts going, getting my mind right. And then I step out, dude, and then boom, it's on. You know what I mean? It's go time.
Yeah.
Like armor up, I suppose. You know what I mean? Prepare.
Well, I feel like usually I am prepared.
Yeah.
Till I walk out that door.
Yeah, exactly,
I'm safe.
man.
I'm safe in here,
Yeah, as soon as you walk out that door, man, welcome to the battle, I suppose, man.
Yeah.
It's about to get crazy. Hope you're ready.
Yeah. Well, there's tons of scripture. You could type in what if is about worry, and he said, what's the Bible say about worry? And of course, the big ones, the Philippians 4, 6, and 7, do not be anxious about anything, but everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.
Yeah, and so then, like, once you give it to God, once you let God know your concerns, your thoughts, you know what I mean, and your prayer, your request, and then be done with it and move on, because then you're getting exactly what you need, you know what I mean? It's in God's hands.
Yeah.
It's under control, man. His understanding and view of things is much larger than your own.
Oh yeah.
So why worry about it? Why even mess with it?
The cliche Bible verses, I think it's a lot, you call them bumper sticker Bible verses, the ones that everybody recognizes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They mean something, and they should pierce your heart and rebuild those pieces that are kind of, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
In Isaiah 41:10, it says, "Fear not, for I'm with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand."
Yeah, see, you're being lifted, man.
Right.
Lifted and
Constantly.
shifted.
Constantly.
And then I think the more that we begin to focus on those negative what ifs, the more we begin to focus on that again, you're taking it out, you know what I mean? You're removing yourself from there.
Well,
And you're pushing yourself back down instead of being lifted
Yeah.
and shifting, and let that have its way with you, and focus on that gratitude and things that are happening for a reason. They're meant for you. It's happening, and find gratitude in it. You're almost stopping that.
yeah. Well, we're definitely not listening to God's voice anymore.
Yeah, you're basically putting a barrier
Yeah.
in between from those blessings. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? You're like, oh, I'm about to be blessed. I'm too worried. Oh, what if? Oh my God! You know what I mean? I'm freaking out, man. I'm
so
freaking
accurate.
out. You know what I mean? And then boom, you just put a wall there between some amazing blessings you're about to get. You're about to get all this. You know what I mean? And boom, you just shut it all down because of your anxiety, your worries. You didn't go and do what you needed to do because you were too worried or too anxious, so you were unable to get to God's blessing because you didn't show up. You didn't stay in action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You allowed the enemy to win that. That makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to win.
Well, yeah, and he's going to push all that and those thoughts. You know what I mean? And all that's going to come at you, and you gotta buckle down, man. Have faith.
Yeah.
Show strength. You know what I mean? Courage.
Matthew 6, dude, is jam-packed with great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own troubles.
Ooh.
Love that stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, Sermon on the Mount,
Yeah. Fire.
that's one of my favorite pieces of scripture.
Fire.
How do I get back?
Almost all things can filter through it. I don't know if even almost. I'd say almost. I'd say all.
A lot of, you think about the complexity of it,
Yeah.
breaking it down so simple. This is one of my favorite verses, bar none, is John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid.
Yeah, we shouldn't have that fear within you, man.
I used to get wrapped up in fear a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a time for sure, man.
A few years ago, I was at a place down in Texas, and it was during a men's encounter, and one fella said something to another guy there, asked if he was worried about something, and the dude popped back, said, "I ain't scared of much anymore."
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, whatever,
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about it and really meditating on it and digging into scripture on it. And what it's led me to is I don't fear a lot of things. I have healthy fear of stuff. Like I'm not going to stand on the edge of a tall building. I'm clumsy.
Yeah.
I can't even walk on the ground without tripping and falling. I have no business up. That's healthy fear.
Yeah, you'd almost be setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, there's a difference between fear and stupidity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in a bad way, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
No, it
Yeah.
is. I think that exploring the what ifs has been good for me
Yeah.
because it's helped me recognize some things that I definitely needed to shore up.
Yeah.
That I was letting some things get away from me, and it's really, it does. A lot of stuff filters through recovery stuff, and this idea of we are powerless over things. The only thing that I really have control of is nothing. I barely have a grasp on myself.
I was going to say, about the only thing you have control of would be yourself.
That's it.
That's it.
But even then, it's
And that's
for
through
me,
choices.
sometimes it's at a minimal level.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? The only thing you can control is you, your reactions,
Yeah.
how you're handling things, and how you're dealing with
I have to
things.
accept people
Yeah.
where they're at for what they are, what they do, and it doesn't mean that I do not try to institute change. We read that blessing a lot,
Yeah.
and the idea of having the foolishness to make those things happen, to right wrongs, to justify, blah blah blah. Anyways, yeah, I think we just read it last week
Yeah, we did.
or 10 days ago.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, it's the Saint I think it's Saint Francis prayer, maybe.
I'm not sure.
It's a Franciscan blessing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. You want to read through some of this? We can go back and forth.
Yeah, let's go, man. The language of letting go. Letting go of worry. What if we knew for certain that everything we worried about today will work out fine?
What if we had a guarantee that the problem bothering us would be worked out in the most perfect way and at the best possible time? Furthermore, what if we knew that years from now we'd be grateful for that problem and its solution?
Exactly, man.
That's so good.
Yes, for sure. Because that's like we were talking about that seeing, we're not able to see that bigger picture. And to know what you're going through right now in this moment today, you may think it's burying you and demolishing you, but if you could only just see like that years from now, you're going to be like, man,
Yeah.
I'm so much better because of that. You know what I mean? The way that thing's worked out. I mean, I'm just better, man. I'm grateful for that problem and its
Yeah.
solution. Yeah.
No, that's
I love that,
that's
man.
so good. Isn't
I
it?
love it, man. What if we knew that even our worst fear would work out for the best?
I think one of my worst fears
Ooh.
for the longest time was that I would never overcome addiction.
Yeah.
And that's a bygone.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was a glaring fear.
Yeah.
It really was.
And then imagine, like, you know what I mean? Like if you just let that fear just stop you, and you let it just destroy you
Yeah.
and kill you,
Can't
and then
beat 'em, join 'em.
instead, yeah, then I have stories just the same. You know what I mean? Able to overcome those fears in the long term of things over years, just continuing to try to conquer that and beat that, and eventually not only try but do that.
Yeah.
You know, how much better are you? You know what I mean? For that. You know what I mean? How much stronger you are because of that, and how much more you can help others out because
That's what I
you've
was
helped
gonna say.
yourself so much.
It allows me to help others.
Yeah, you're able to be of service. You know what I mean? Which is I would say is the man. It is one thing about what is the one trait of being of great? And I would say is service. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. We're called to it.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, right.
What if we had a guarantee that everything that's happening and has happened in our life was meant to be planned just for us and in our best interest?
Like
Stupid,
exactly.
right?
Because you're just, as you're moving through, you know what I mean? If you can embrace that and just say, this is meant for me, what I'm going through today, the struggles, those issues, man.
Yeah.
Like, it is for my betterment.
Right.
But I have to make it through that. You know what I mean? I have to be able to stand up. I have to be able to go into that storm. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Roaring like a lion, man. I'm coming in. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah. I'm walking into the storm. Yeah.
Everything was meant to be
Yeah.
planned just for us and in our best interest. How good.
Yeah, I love it, man. All right, what if we had a guarantee that the people we love are experiencing exactly what they need in order to become who they're intended to become? Boy, I messed that up. We had a guarantee that the people we love are experiencing exactly what they need in order to become who they are intended to become. Further, what if we had a guarantee that others can be responsible for themselves and we don't have to control or take responsibility for them?
Oh, that's so tough.
Dude, well, yeah, because you're sitting there trying to control things. Or you could even look at that as like a judgment based. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there judging you based off what you're doing and what they're doing.
What about your
You know,
kids?
Yeah.
I have adult children. They're all basically adults.
Yeah, but they have to go through that in order.
Jeffrey technically is an adult now by law. He's 18.
Yeah, and they have to go through that.
It makes me so mad when they ask me for a suggestion and then they do the 100% complete opposite.
Yeah. That's called the School of Hard Knocks, man. I got a kid that does that too, man. Yeah, I'll sit there and tell him blue in my face, but after over some years, I'm just like, man, the dude's just. I mean, that's how he is. He's just going to have to learn that, and I can look back and say, yeah, I had to do that too myself, and I can just sit back and have a little bit more faith.
Yeah.
That it's going to be working out for his best interest, for his greater good. You know what I mean? And be fine. I can, obviously get in there with some humble directions
Right.
and some guidance there, but by no means am I going to force my will upon somebody else. I'm going to be like, well, it is what
It's
it
all about
is, man.
suggestions.
Yeah.
If my boys that I raised follow step in step exactly what I did, the end result will be well.
Yeah.
It'll just take them a while to get there.
Yeah, it takes a while, man.
Especially since they're thick-headed like their dad.
In their own timing, man, in their own ways, it's meant for them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we knew the future was going to be good and we would have an abundance of resources and guidance to handle whatever comes our way.
I like that.
I mean, it goes right back to that Luke scripture.
Yeah, it
Why
does.
worry about our clothes and our food? I have never, ever gone hungry unless it was my choice.
Yeah.
Because of pride.
Yeah.
God's honest truth. I have always had somebody call. I mean, it's just the weirdest thing, right?
Yeah.
Or stop by with a box of groceries. Very strange.
Yeah,
you know,
things
how
just
could they
happen.
know?
Yeah.
You know,
Man.
our future is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know a lot of people right now are getting caught up in eschatology and end time stuff, and there's a lot going on. I'm not disputing that. But when you read the book, the end result is good.
Yeah, like I had said something the other day. It's like, man, they're said something, and I just popped off like, well, I'm kind of excited. You know what I mean? I'm excited. You know what I mean, to be here right now in this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seeing these things happen, it brings a level of excitement for me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read both those together.
All right. What if we knew the future was going to be good? Oh, that's what you just read, man.
Yeah.
What if we knew everything was okay, and we didn't have to worry about a thing? What would we do then? Probably count your blessings, man.
Read that part. It answers it for you.
We'd be free to let go and enjoy life.
Yeah. Let go, let God.
Yeah.
I like that part.
I do too, man. Count your blessings.
Yeah.
Gratitude, man. That would leave room for nothing but gratitude, I would believe, because you wouldn't be sitting in a state of what ifs.
Yeah.
You'd be just a constant like, oh, this is amazing.
Right. Sitting in awe
Yeah.
and wonder.
Yeah.
When I reflect, I mean, that's
I
it.
wonder if God sits back and looks at his sits back like on the seventh day, sits back and just in admiration of his creation, in awe and wonder,
Of course he does.
because he knows it all works out for the greatness of the better good,
Yeah.
because he can see all things. You know what I mean?
I would say yes. Yeah. Why wouldn't he?
What if?
What if?
Those are my what ifs.
I think those are good what ifs. I
in my head for a minute. That's my what ifs, right?
Yeah, the subject is like,
Yeah.
you have these conversations and you say you're in a group of people and you're talking about something scripturally and, that always comes to, well, I guess we won't know till we get there,
Yeah.
until we get to ask those questions. Will we even have to ask?
No, I don't think you will, man.
I think
you know your heart, man.
Once our eyes are truly open,
Yeah, I think
and
you'll
we're
be
in
like-
a glorified state.
Yeah, you're in a glorified body, man.
The grief
You'll be.
will be gone. The sadness will be gone.
I think
I
you'll
believe.
be in a constant state of just blissful joy.
In the presence of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, wow.
You'll still have free will.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
it'll be
craziest
just
thought.
it'll be just like love. You know what I mean? An overwhelming, like true, like real love.
Yeah.
Anyways, today, it's your turn, man.
No, go ahead.
All right, today, I will know that I don't have to worry about anything. If I do worry, I will do it with the understanding that I am choosing to worry, and it is not necessary.
Not necessary.
It is only by my choice that I choose to worry about anything.
Why not? Why not give it to God?
Yeah, why would you want to walk around in a worrying state, man? I'm just like, ugh.
Some people like it.
How they do, man.
I'm not going to
And I
not
do.
even disputing that. And those are probably the people that in 1950s were in the psychiatric units. That really is a sad deal. I mean, the idea that the stress that our kids are under, you just can't help but push those buttons down.
Ah, dang it, it's the wrong one, man. Man, I was like, this is going to stop.
It will,
I was
it
trying to
should.
hit that. Womp, womp, womp.
I don't know if I have that on there. There's an air horn. There's a beep for when we really screw up and say something we shouldn't, but you got to be quick on that button,
I think
buddy.
it's this one, man, but I don't know. You want me to push it?
Sure.
Nah, man. I'm fired, guys. I just fired myself. Sorry, Ryan, man.
No, you're good.
I tried to come in with a little womp, womp, womp.
Oh, that's a pre-recorded. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Put it on there.
Yeah.
Anyways, man.
Well, hopefully we get to do this again sooner than later.
Man, I always had, it's sometimes tough to get over here this way, but man, once we roll, man, it's always good, man.
It is one of the highlights of my week. It gets
is.
me digging. It makes me think. I always enjoy just the conversations we have outside of the podcast. Most of the time, God's honest truth, we just sit down and roll with it. Yeah. We found this in a little book that's Letting Go of Codependency. It's a daily reading. And it's been a good week, all things considered.
Man, it's been exactly what we needed, man.
Is that what it says?
It's going to work out for our best interest.
What if we knew everything was okay and we didn't have to worry about a thing?
Yeah.
What would I do then? I would be free.
Yeah. And if you're worrying about the week, man, you're doing it out of your own choice, man.
Choosing to do it.
Your own free will. You're choosing that bondage, man.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, you're choosing it. Yeah, choose wisely, man. Yeah. All comes down to choice, man.
It does. We have a choice. Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Man. One love.
Love you, Keeler.
My man, Ryan. Love you too, brother.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
Good looking out.
Shalom. We'll see y'all next week, man. See y'all next week. Yeah. All right.